Hey, this is the Daily Overpass. My name is Eric and I make apps. Now today, let's talk about your most precious resource. Okay, so this morning I'm coming to you from Heathrow Airport. I just dropped my son off. Now I don't like to talk a lot about my kids or my family because it's kind of like it's their own story. So like on social media, I never mention them, but you know, today I'm kind of in an emotional state. So I'll talk a little bit about this. This morning I dropped my son off to go to the States, right? So rather than go to university, he's joined the Army, kind of like I did, right? I would prefer university, but this is something he wanted to do. So I dropped him off. I'm a little bit emotional because I don't know when I'll see him next, right? It might be months, it might be, you know, hopefully it's just months, right? So, you know, it's a bit, I'm a little bit emotional today, you know, but it's not, I mean, people's lives change all the time. I mean, you know, he's not dead. He's coming back. So, you know, I just have to keep reminding myself that. It's just, you know, he's grown up. He's 19. He's moving out, and you know, just got to get used to that. And I think what I think about is, well, I think about all the good times we've had, you know, growing up and all that, because I still think of him as being a little boy. I hope he doesn't mind me saying that, right? And I think about all the good times, but I also think about all the things that I wish I had done, the things I wanted to do, like, you know, go to Disney World and stuff like that. And times just run out, right? So, you know, and there's always been a reason not to do certain things, like I've been too busy, or it was too expensive, didn't have enough money, or just didn't have enough time. And, you know, and when the time runs out, all of those excuses seem very, very flimsy. But we're not here to talk about me and my personal issues, right? We're here to talk about apps. So today I want to answer a question from Jan Peterson from last week, who asked, what do you think about fail fast versus thorough planning when it comes to ASO? As a developer, I'm used to fail fast. However, with ASO, I'm conflicted when choosing between the two. The reason I chose this question today is because it's kind of related, right? I've always been fail fast, right? I talk a lot about not wanting to be that guy carrying the box out of the building crying because I was made redundant, or I lost my job and it just wasn't fair because market conditions changed, or because I didn't change fast enough with the market, right? Sometimes I get criticized. In fact, I had a hater like a couple weeks ago put something on there saying, you know what, my app's only had a few downloads and I spent weeks on this, I spent months on this thing. You probably put stuff out there that takes a day or a week or whatever, as if the time you put into creating an app has any bearing on how good it is, right? You could be fast, you could be slow. You know, it's not gardening, it's app development, right? And I try to get things done as quick as I can and as fast as I can, put something out on the market and do that rather than spend ages in, you know, trying to think how things go. And the same goes with ASO. So Jan, as you said, as an app developer, your tendency is fail fast, and that's my tendency too, right? And this is one of the reasons why I love app development. Oh, by the way, I'm in Reading now, if you're wondering why the scenery changed behind me, right? So this is what I love about app developers, is that we have this bias for action, right? We don't like to sit around and ponder things and think about things all the time. We put stuff out there and see how it does, right? I mean, for those of you out there who are app developers, I know not everyone is, but for those of you who are, you probably know at least one person, but probably several, who have an app idea that they've never started on. They're waiting for the right time, or they're waiting for investors, or they're waiting for, you know, they're waiting for some validation. They'll tell you their idea, or even more often, they won't tell you their idea. They'll keep it secret and go, I don't want you to steal my idea, but I'll tell you, right? And what they're hoping is that you'll do it for them, right? Because they're waiting for something. They're waiting for someday, that someday that never comes. And you know, you as somebody who's put something on the app market and you're trying things out, you know that, you know, you just can't wait all the time. You know, eventually someday is going to be gone, right? We don't know how long apps are going to last, right? I know some people say they're going to be around forever. Some people say, you know, it's going to go to progressive web apps. It's going to go to just, you know, HTML is going to take over or whatever again, right? But we don't know. All we know is what's there now. So we have this bias for action. Now, what you were saying, Jan, is that when it comes to ASO, then, you know, is that different? And I think I'm still the same way with ASO. I think you put something out there and try it, change some keywords. The only two reasons why you would actually take time to ponder to ponder it. And when I say ponder, this is one of the things I hate when working with people sometimes, you know, especially if you go into a corporate environment, you get this a lot. You know, I think we should think about this. We should have another meeting, all this kind of stuff. And everything moves so slow, right? If you've ever had a corporate position, you know that, you know, nothing moves quickly. Everything's got to be contemplated and thought, and there's nothing worse than sitting at somebody's desk, having them look at keywords or database indexes or whatever, and have them go, and you're just like, what? If we change that, no, if we change this, we'll get a 1.2% increase in downloads or whatever. You're like, 1.2%, right? It's like if you were obese and you went to a dietitian and they're telling you to add avocados to your diet or whatever. You know, like, you know, they don't understand the problem. So this is why when I commented Jan last week, when I responded, I said I don't like the chin stroking and the right? We're app developers. We have a bias for action. We want to get things out there, right? There's no time to wait, right? But if your app is doing really well, right, and you have something to lose, then you might want to take some time to think about it. So, you know, and actually do, like, if your app is doing reasonably well and you want it to do better, then maybe you should take some time to think about it, I think. Or if there's a danger that you're going to get suspended. So it's almost, you know, it used to be, I mean, I have a video years ago where I said, you know, when you're doing ASO stuff, do Google Play because it's faster, right? Google Play, you put something out, it's out. But now with Apple, right, first of all, they're not going to suspend you, like, you know, by the drop of a hat. In fact, I don't even know if they do suspend you. I've never been worried about Apple suspending me for any reason, right? I have been worried about Google suspending me when I haven't done anything wrong. It's like, you know, when you see a police officer and you get really serious and you think, wait, hang on a second, all I'm doing is driving, right? But I'm afraid of Google the same way I am with cops that way, right? I'm not breaking any rules, I'm not doing anything wrong, but, you know, who knows, right? So, but with Apple, like, now it's gotten to the point where Apple, you can release an app, and like the last app I released, it was within 24 hours, it was approved and live. It was crazy. It used to take 2 weeks. So now the tables have turned there a little bit. If you're going to try some ASO, first of all, ASO on Apple's a lot easier because you have that keywords field, right? And it's not all that, you know, putting it into the content and stuff like on Google, right? So anyway, I would say, fail fast unless it's doing reasonably well and you have something to lose, right? Or you're afraid of it getting suspended, like with Google Play. And I hope that helps. I hope that makes sense. But let's talk a little bit more about the bias for action, because what you said, Jan, there really makes a lot, especially today, right? When you think, you know, all those, I'm going to do this someday, you know, and then there's no more some days, right? I love the fact that app developers, we have this bias for action, that, you know, rather than talk about it, rather than think about theory, rather than think about, do you think this will work? We just do it. We just put it out there. And that's what, you know, I love about all you guys is that we do that. And I want to finish by going back to the Army. Let's talk about the Army a little bit. So, because I've been talking about the Army basic training all morning with my son driving to Heathrow. You know, and all the advice I'm giving him is 25 years old. I mean, it was a long time ago that I went to basic training. But we had like 2 days, I think we had 2 days, it was 1 or 2 days of bayonet training, right? So actually getting the bayonets on the rifles, and he was surprised that there were bayonets, but yeah, we had bayonet training. I don't know if they still do. Right, so we get all the soldiers out there on the field, on this big tarmac, right? And usually when we're formation, we're really close, but we have bayonets. They put us like far apart so we don't, you know, stab each other or whatever, right? So everybody's spread apart, and the drill sergeant's at the front. He's got like a megaphone because we can't hear him because we're too far away, even with that loud ass voice, right? And so that, you know, and for those of you who've been in Army basic training, you're going to know the answers to these questions. But they go on there. He says, "What makes the green grass grow?" And we all shout, "Blood, drill sergeant!" And then he says, "What are the 2 kinds of bayonet fighters?" And we all shout, "The quick and the dead, drill sergeant!" So let's finish with that. There are 2 types of app developers. There are 2 types of technology people in this world where technology changes all the time. There's the quick and there's the dead. Don't be the dead. Anyway, I hope this has been interesting. Sorry to get so personal today. I will talk to you guys with something a lot more fun tomorrow.